ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Okay, good morning everybody. So now we are going to discuss about the new topic. So that is, in the previous topic, moving charges and magnetism. Moving charges and magnetism. That means charges are in motion produces magnetic field. Charges are in motion produces magnetic field. So here this converse is right or wrong? Converse in the sense, so motion of the, that means varying magnetic field. So for example, if the magnet is moving towards, or the motion of the magnet, so for example, if it is an object, if the magnet is moving towards the object, or if the magnet is moving away from the object, in this situation variation of the magnetic field exists. Magnetic field must be varies. For example, this is the object. If the magnet is moving towards or away, magnet is moving towards or away, in any situation, if it is moving towards, the magnetic field increases. If it is moving away, the magnetic field intensity of the magnetic field decreases. So that means the variation of the magnetic field exists. So due to the variation of the magnetic field, is there any possibility of the production of the current? If the current will be produced due to the variation of the magnetic field, it is possible or not? That's we are going to be discuss. So the chapter name is electromagnetic induction. So electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction. So this is the topic name now. So previous chapter is moving charges magnetism. Due to the flow of the current magnetic field must be developed. So opposite of this, due to the variation of the magnetic field, current must be developed. So that means current must be induced, EMF must be induced. So that is electromagnetic induction. How can I define this electromagnetic induction? Due to the variation of the magnetic field, nearer to the closed surface, an EMF is induced in the closed surface. So that is called variation of the magnetic field. So this is called electromagnetic induction. EMF induced means EMF is nothing but electromotive, that is nothing but potential. Potential induces means current also induced. This is electromagnetic induction. Due to the variation of the magnetic field nearer to the coil, closed surface, or nearer to the circular coil or closed surface, that means rectangular surface or square surface, whatever it is, an EMF is induced in the closed surface. An EMF is induced. That is called electromagnetic induction. This can be found out by the scientist named Faraday, Michael Faraday. So that's why. So how the EMF induced in the circular coil, how the EMF is induced, that's we can discuss now. For example, see here, so this is the circular coil, So conducting like this. This is the galvanometer. This is the galvanometer like this. This is the circular coil, current carrier, conducting coil. So now in this situation, let us say this is the magnet. In the magnet, let us say this is north pole and this is south pole. If the magnet is moving towards the coil, so what happens? For example, if the magnet is placed at this position, if the magnet is at rest, constant magnetic field developed here. Here the magnet is placed at rest position. So the magnet is not in motion. Magnet is at rest. So that means constant magnetic field linked with this coil. Constant magnetic field. So whatever is the magnetic field, so that means the magnetic field due to the magnet B can be written as generally mu naught by 4 pi m by axial point it is m equal to m by d cube or 2m by d cube, that is that. So that is the magnetic field developed. When this, if the magnet is at rest. So for example, if the magnet is in motion, that means if the magnet is moving towards the coil, what happens? Definitely magnetic field increases, because B is equals to general formula mu naught by 4 pi m by d cube or 2m by d cube, whatever it is. That means B inversely proportional to d cube. For axial point it is 2m by d cube, for equatorial point m by d cube. That means B inversely proportional to d cube. That means if the distance decreases, magnetic field increases. If the distance decreases, magnetic field increases. That means here if the magnet is moving towards the coil, what happens? Definitely magnetic field increases. So for example, if the magnet is moving away from the coil, magnetic field decreases. So because the distance increases, magnetic field decreases. Due to the variation of the magnetic field, we can observe some deflection in this galvanometer. If the magnet is at rest, position, we are not observing any deflection in the galvanometer. For example, if this magnet is moving towards the coil or away from the coil, we must observe certain amount of deflection in the galvanometer. So the galvanometer shows deflection. What is the meaning of this? Definitely certain amount of current passes through the coil. Depending on the motion of the magnet, the direction of the current maybe we can decide after that. But due to the motion of the magnets either towards the coil or away from the coil, definitely certain amount of deflection must be observed. So that means definitely current must be passed. Without the current, the galvanometer does not show any deflection, either current or voltage. So this galvanometer can be converted into ammeter or galvanometer can be converted into voltmeter in any situation. So it shows deflection. So that is the experiment conducted by the Michael Faraday. So that means this proves that if the magnetic flux or the magnetic field varies, definitely certain amount of current must be induced. That is converse of this moving charges and magnetism. What is moving charges, magnetism? Like this. That means current produces magnetic field, but here variation of the magnetic field produces current. So that's converse is also true. So this is the situation. Now let come to the situation now. If the north pole of the magnet moving towards the coil, So the galvanometer shows deflection, no doubt about that. Definitely the galvanometer shows certain amount of deflection, no doubt about that. In the same way, if the north pole of the magnet moving away from the coil, if the north pole of the magnet is moving away from the coil, the deflection shows by the galvanometer must be opposite in the previous situation. So for example, if the north pole is moving towards, if the galvanometer shows deflection like this, if the north pole is moving away, the galvanometer shows deflection in this direction, like that. So in both, either moving towards the coil or away from the coil, in these two situations, the deflection shown by the galvanometer must be in opposite direction, So that is the concept here. While north pole of magnet moving towards the coil, north pole of the magnet moving towards the coil or away from the coil, So here galvanometer shows deflection. Galvanometer shows deflection. But the deflection must be in opposite direction. Deflection must be in opposite direction in the two cases. But the deflection must be in opposite direction in the two cases. When it is moving towards is the first case, let us say. If it is moving away from the case, second case, like that. The deflection must be in opposite direction in the two cases. That is the first one. So that means how the current induced here, current induced due to the motion of the magnet. For example, next situation, if the magnet is held fixed, whether this coil is moving towards the magnet or away from the magnet. So second situation. So first situation is magnet is moving towards the coil or away from the coil, whether north pole or otherwise the south pole also moving towards the coil or away from the coil. So in this situation, both the situations are right. For example, if the north pole of the magnet is moving towards the coil or away from the coil, galvanometer shows deflection like that. In the same way, if the south pole is moving towards the coil or away from the coil, whatever is the deflection shown by the magnet in this situation, shown by the galvanometer in this situation must be opposite when the south pole is moving towards or away. Like that. So now if the magnet is held fixed, and this coil is moving towards the coil and the coil is moving towards the magnet or away from the magnet. In this situation also galvanometer shows deflection. Whether the coil moving towards the north pole or away from the north pole. So in these two situations, the deflection shown by the galvanometer must be in opposite direction. That is the one thing. So that means here the current induced due to relative motion between coil and the magnets and EMF is induced. So this is the main thing. Due to the relative motion between the coil and the magnets, an EMF is induced in the coil or current also induced in the coil. For example, if the motion of the magnet stops, For example, we are moving towards the, if we are moving the magnet towards the coil. So this move the magnet towards the coil. So definitely certain amount of flux must, certain amount of EMF must be induced. But if the magnet is stopped, if you stop the magnet, the induced EMF also get stopped. Whenever the magnet is in motion, then only EMF is induced. If the magnet is at rest, EMF does not induced. So many point. So EMF is induced. EMF is induced whenever the magnet is in motion. Up to that extent only EMF is induced. If the magnet comes to rest, the EMF also gets stopped. So that is the 3 points you have to remember this like this. So north pole is moving towards or away, maybe south pole is moving towards or away. So these there are 4 situations. See here, if the north pole is moving towards the coil, if the galvanometer shows deflection like this, if the north pole is moving away from the coil, then the galvanometer shows deflection like that. Must be opposite. In the previous case, this is the deflection of the galvanometer, but in this situation now, this is the deflection of the galvanometer. But if the south pole is moving towards the magnet, see here, south pole, north pole, then the deflection of the galvanometer is like that. If the south pole is moving away from the coil, then the deflection of the galvanometer is like this. So depending on the situation. So that means both the situations, the deflection of the galvanometer must be in opposite direction. So that is very important. So this is the situation now. Now next point here. So due to the motion of the magnet. Next point. So for example, this is the coil connected to the galvanometer. Coil connected to the galvanometer. See here, this is the coil. So coil is connected to the galvanometer. Next situation, another coil here. Another coil is connected to the battery like this. So now in this situation also it's a possibility of induction of EMF. So for example, if this coil is, if the battery, if the switch is closed, then the current passes through the coil. If the current passes through the coil, causes what? Magnetic field. So current in this direction, this is the direction. If the current is passing like this, this is the direction of the magnetic field. If the current passes like this, this is the direction of the magnetic field. We already discussed that. So the current passes through the coil, creates magnetic field. Now if this coil is moving towards this or away from this, if the, let us say C1 it is, C2 it is, C2 is the coil. If the C2 coil is moving towards the C1 coil or moving away from the C1 coil, definitely there exists an EMF in this coil. If C2 is moves towards C1 or away from C1, an EMF must be induced. An EMF induced in C1. So because here due to the current flowing through the, if the current flows through the coil C2, current must be flows through the, because of connection of the battery, if the switch is closed, let us say this is the switch, if the switch is closed, current passes through the coil, current passes through the C2. Due to the passing of the currents, due to current flow in C2, so magnetic field, here the magnetic field developed, in C2 coil, magnetic field developed in C2 coil. So if this C2 coil is either moving towards or away, the magnetic field must be changed. If the C2 coil must be moved towards the C1 or away from the C1, definitely certain amount of magnetic field must be changes. Due to the change in the magnetic field, what happens? An EMF is induced. Due to the change in the magnetic field, an EMF is induced in this. So that is the situation. Or in another situation is, if C2 is fixed, if the C1 is moving towards the C2 or away from the C2, if the C2 is fixed and the C1 is moving towards C2 or away from C2, in that situation also magnetic field changes, so that an EMF is induced in C1. So that is the situation. So here in this situation, relative motion between the two coils, that causes an EMF, relative motion between C1 and C2. So that is the concept. So relative motion between here, relative motion between C1 and C2 causes induced EMF in C1, not C2, because current passes through C2. Due to this current only, EMF is induced in C1. So that is EMF induced, that means current also induced. So that is the concept. So two situations. So what are the points you have to remember based on this is, what are the points we have to remember based on this? And one more thing, so let us say this is the coil, magnetic like this. So let us say it is the magnets, so north pole, south pole. So points. If the magnet is at rest, there is no EMF induced. Next point, if the magnet rotates about its own axis at the same position, if the magnet is rotated at the same position, at this position only, magnet is rotated at the same position, EMF does not induced. Next, so when the EMF induced due to relative motion only. EMF is induced due to relative motion only. That means both are in motion or any one is in motion. If the coil is at rest, magnet is in motion, or if the magnet is at rest, coil is in motion, or both are in motion. In that situation only EMF is induced. So if we move the magnet fastly, if we move the magnet fastly, either towards the coil or away from the coil, we can observe more deflection. We can observe more deflection. Important point it is. If we move the magnet fastly, we can observe more deflection. So that means if the magnet is moves towards the coil or away from the coil fastly, that means quickly, so we can observe more deflection. More deflection in the sense more EMF, more current, like that. Next point. If the number of turns in the coil is more, if the number of turns in the coil, a number of turns in this coil is more, so we can observe more deflection or more EMF. We can observe more deflection. If the number of turns in the coil is more, then we can observe more deflection. So next, if the material is made up of ferromagnets, if the material is made up of with ferromagnetic material, if this material is made up of with ferromagnetic material, so we can observe more EMF or more deflection. We can observe more deflection. So these are the points you have to remember during this motion of this magnet towards the coil or away from the coil. Motion of the magnet towards the coil or away from the coil. So this is the concept. So like this. Electromagnetic induction, that means due to the variation of the magnetic field and a certain amount of current must be induced. So previous chapter, due to the variation of the current, magnetic field developed, but due to the variation of the magnetic field, current must be developed. So that is the concept. So these are the points you have to remember, very important. So next, come to the point, what is meant by magnetic flux? It is denoted with phi. What is meant by magnetic flux? So just like that electric flux, how can you define that electric flux? The number of electric lines of force. How can you define electric flux? Number of electric lines of force cross the unit area normally, So that is called electric lines or electric flux. Magnetic flux means magnetic flux. How can you define this magnetic flux? So the number of magnetic lines of force cross normal to the surface area. Number of magnetic lines of force cross normal to the given area. So that is called magnetic flux. So number of magnetic lines of force cross normally through given area. So that is called magnetic flux. So it is denoted with phi is equals to B bar dot A bar. So that is equals to BA cos theta. So phi is equals to BA cos theta. So unit of phi is Weber. SI unit of phi is Weber. CGS unit is Maxwell, like that. So SI unit of phi is Weber. So this is BA cos. If theta is equals to 0, so phi is equals to BA cos 0. So that is equals to BA. Here if theta is equals to 90, then phi is equals to BA cos 90. Cos 90 is 0, that means 0. What is theta here? Theta is the angle between magnetic field and areal vector. Theta is the angle between, here theta is the angle between the magnetic field and areal vector. So here theta is angle between magnetic field direction and areal vector. Theta is angle between magnetic field direction and areal vector. This is the, what is that, flux. See here. So this is the unit area is given. Area. I am considering this is the area. What is the direction of the areal vector? That is very important here. Generally area is the scalar quantity, but here areal vector. What is the direction? If area is the vector quantity, what is its direction? The direction of area is always normal to the surface and acting away. Always normal to the surface and acting away from the surface. See here, this is the direction of A bar. This is the direction of A bar. At any situation, this is the direction of A bar. If the magnetic field also must be in the same direction, let us say these are the direction of magnetic lines of force. So this is also B bar. Now here B bar and A bar must be in the same direction. B bar and A bar must be in the same direction. So that is the situation. B bar and A bar, that is now the angle is 0, theta equals to 0. B bar and A bar must be in the same direction. What is the direction of areal vector? This is the normal to the surface and acting away. Normal to the surface and acting away from the surface. That is the direction of areal vector. See here, if the B bar and A bar must be in the same direction here. B bar and A bar must be in the same direction here. So this is the direction of magnetic flux here. Phi equals to BA. Now if the situation is, for example, this is the direction of A bar, and if the magnetic field is in this direction, makes an angle theta. So now B bar can be divided into two components. This is B cos theta and this is B sin theta. B cos theta and B sin theta. According to the definition of magnetic flux, we must consider the direction of magnetic lines of force normal to the surface. So here the B cos theta component is normal to the surface. B cos theta component is normal to the surface and B sin theta component is along the surface. So along the surface, no need to consider. So that's why B cos theta. So now here magnetic flux can be written as B cos theta into A. So that means based on this we can write B bar dot A bar. Based on this B bar dot A bar. This is the magnetic flux formula. Phi is equals to B cos theta into A. So that is B bar dot A bar. Now next condition. So this is the direction of the areal vector, always normal to the surface, and let us say this is the direction of B bar. This is the direction of B bar. This is the direction of B bar. What is angle between these two? 90 degrees. The direction of A bar and B bar is 90 degrees. Therefore, flux is equals to BA cos 90. Flux is equals to 0. Cos 90 value is 0. So, that is equals to 0. So, this is about magnetic flux and its unit is Weber. And for example, if the coil has n turns, then flux can be written as phi is equals to BAN cos theta. So, that means flux in the sense the number of magnetic lines of force crossed normally through given area. Given area means it is closed surface. In that closed surface, that coil is having n turns, whatever it may be the shape of the coil, that is circular or rectangular or square shape, whatever it may be the shape of the coil. So, then the flux can be written as phi is equals to BAN cos theta. Flux is equals to BAN cos theta. So, this is the situation of the flux, magnetic flux BAN cos. That means how the flux changes here, how the magnetic flux changes due to the variation of the magnetic field. How the magnetic field changes here? Here flux changes due to, so magnetic flux linked with the closed surface changes due to variation of magnetic field, magnetic field. Next, variation of area of cross section, and variation of number of turns, and due to the variation of orientation of the coil, So, the magnetic field or the magnetic flux changes due to these four quantities. So, generally formula is BAN cos theta. After all, generally phi formula is BA cos theta. If the coil having n turns, if the number of turns increases, EMF also increases. Based on that means flux also changes. So, that is why phi is equals to BAN cos theta. How the magnetic flux changes? Due to the change in the magnetic field, flux changes. Due to the change in the area of cross section, flux changes. Due to change in the number of turns, flux changes. Due to the orientation of the coil means angle between the magnetic field and aerial vector. If the angle changes, then also the magnetic flux changes. So, this is the magnetic flux. So, simple formula is phi is equals to BA cos theta. Next, next let us say this is one cylindrical coil. So, this is the situation. So, this is the aerial vector here. I am considering this is the direction of A bar. So, now flux entering the surface and leaving the surface like this, magnetic lines of force entering and leaving like this. Let us say it is B bar here. in this situation. What is the flux through the, and let us say one more condition here, I am considering this is the direction of B bar. Here, how can you define what is the flux through the circular shape? This is the circular shape, flux through the circular shape. So phi is equals to BA, simply because the angle between B bar and A bar is 0. The angle between B bar and A bar is 0, that's why phi is equals to, general formula is BA cos theta, and theta is equals to 0, then phi is equals to BA. Next, flux through the curved surface. This is the cylindrical shape. Now flux through the curved surface. Here the aerial vector is this direction, then this direction is. So phi is equals to generally BA cos theta. If here theta is equals to 90, then phi is equals to BA cos 90. Cos 90 is equals to 0. This is the flux through the curved surface. So cylindrical shape. So this is the cylindrical shape. Upper surface and lower surface, this is the circular shapes. So that's why the flux through the circular shape is this much. And flux through the curved shape. So this is the flux through the curved shape. So that's why flux is equals to 0 through the curved surface. Curved surface means this one. So this is the curved surface. So this is the magnetic flux. For example, actually if the magnetic field exists like this, if the magnetic field exists like that, then flux through the curved surface exists and flux through the circular shape does not exist. If the magnetic field exists in the vertical direction like this, in this situation the flux must be 0, but in this situation the flux exists. So that is the situation, the magnetic flux here. So next, so we know and magnetic flux phi is equals to BAN cos theta. Phi equals to BAN cos theta. For example, if theta 1 is the angle between B bar and A bar, then phi 1 can be written as BAN cos theta 1. If theta 1 is the angle between B bar and A bar, then phi 1 is equals to. Now if theta 2 is the angle between B bar and A bar, theta 2 is the angle between B bar and A bar, then phi 2 can be written as BAN cos theta 2. So change in flux due to change in position of the coil. So that means if the coil is rotated from theta 1 position to theta 2 position, see here. So for example, this is aerial vector. So let us say it is B bar. Initially let us say it is theta 1 position. Now it is changes from theta 1 position to, so this is A bar and this is B bar and this is theta 2. The coil, orientation of the coil, the position of the coil changes from theta 1 position to theta 2 position. The position of the coil changes from theta 1 to theta 2 position. In this situation also the flux must be changes. So change in flux. Delta phi is equals to, change means always we must write final minus initial, final. So that is BAN cos theta 2 minus BAN cos theta 1. So that means BAN common, that is cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. So BAN common, we can write it as cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. So that is the change in flux. Change in flux due to the variation of the position of the coil. So from initially, for example, if theta 1 is equals to 0 and theta 2 is equals to 90, then so delta phi is equals to, so BAN into cos 90 minus cos 0. So that is equals to minus BAN. Change in flux is minus BAN. For example, if theta 1 is equals to 0 and theta 2 is equals to 180, then delta phi is equals to BAN into cos 180 minus cos 0. So that is equals to BAN into cos 180 minus 1, cos 0 is 1, minus 2 BAN. Delta phi is equals to minus 2 BAN. Next to, if theta 1 is equals to 90 and theta 2 is equals to 180, let us say, then again delta phi can be written as BAN into cos 180 minus cos 0, sorry cos 90. So that is equals to again minus BAN, like that. How the coil changes? The orientation of the coil changes, then also the magnetic flux changes. So how these values changes like this. So this is the change in the magnetic flux due to the orientation of the coil. Orientation of the, that means the position of the coil changes from theta 1 position to theta 2 position. This is change in the magnetic flux.